we want more sales, which is great. I'm a firm believer in stop trying to get more sales. Before you get more sales, build more trust. Before you get more trust, get more attention. So I'm a firm believer, attention, because if I don't get your attention, game's over. Attention plus trust, that then will equal more sales. So there's many different ways to $1 in successful business. Thank you, but that's my game. How can I get more attention from the people who I can serve, build their trust? Sales will come all day. Classroom moment. How do you work with some of the biggest brands in the world? Because that.
Welcome to the Who You Know show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
Who you know can make all the difference in your business, career, your relationships, and your life. Guys, I'm super excited and pumped to bring you a very special edition of Who You Know and Breakfast with Champions collaboration for the Champions Business Conference. And we got our live studio audience. Let's go! So I promise you guys some motivation, some education, some inspiration, some collaboration. We're going to get it all today, okay? So you guys are in the right place. But I really wanted to kick this thing off with my man, Ramon freaking Ray. So let me give you a quick intro for those of you that don't know or are watching online. Ramon Ray, he's an in-demand business growth expert. This man is one of the most positive people that I know. Like, absolutely, it's contagious. His smile just absolutely grabs you and just brings you in. He's the publisher of bwcdaily.com and zoneofgenius.com. He's a motivational speaker and author, and he's the author of Celebrity CEO, which we're excited to hear you give your speech today about that. But, Ramon, I want to hear from you. I want to know. Tell me about your journey of becoming a small business owner and how you got to where you are today as an in-demand growth expert. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, and Trevor, I just want to say thank you for having me here. You're an amazing human, and your boy Mark as well, but it's been great to work with you, be here. And thanks to our studio audience for being here as well. Without you, we could not do this. So Trevor, I just want to uplift you and say it's been amazing to be on this ride with you, and thank you for having me on your stage today. Trevor, I think that people are born with certain things. And I think I was just born with the desire and the love of risk. I love being uncomfortable. I don't like when things are set and done. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. And so the short of the story is, I think you only said we only have 4 hours here, is that the bottom line though is that I had a regular job working at the United Nations. Great organization. And while there, Trevor, I got fired. I got fired because somebody was jealous of what I was doing, made some problems for me, so my contract was not renewed. That forced me into entrepreneurism and being who I am today.
Hold on. I want to stop here. Stop here. So when you got let go.
Yeah. Fired. Mm-hmm.
Fired. Yeah. You got
Sounds better.
Yeah. You got fired. Yeah. They give you a cardboard box?
Well, back then it was more. It wasn't. It was the full cardboard, like a folder, manila folder.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You get they escort you out the building?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So when that happened, before you jumped into entrepreneurship, did you try going back into corporate America, or did you try anything else? No, you just immediately said, forget this.
Forget this, and what I started doing, all the free things, like, Ramon, could you fly here on your dime and then sleep outside, or we're going to give you no food? Could you do that for free? Before I'd be like, yes, because I had a full-time job and had money. Like, nope. And that's where I had to learn to charge and ask for money and start to understand that you need money to live.
Wow.
As an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need that. Are you saying you need a little cash flow?
Oh, come on. I'll take it. Let's go.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my God, these are real.
So what then? You got into entrepreneurship, and what was the next step for you?
Yeah, so the next step, for example, as a speaker, I had some clients while I was at the United Nations because I got fired, and that's when I had to turn and say, listen, no longer can I do this for metaphorically $1. I had to do this now for $10, $20, whatever that scale may be. And that's why I had to dial it up and be a full-time, not just side hustle, not just got out a full check entrepreneur. And I think that's the thirst where it got to me of experimentation. For example, not knowing that at CES, Computer Electronics Show, some of you may have been there, largest computer show in the world, I didn't know the real bloggers could meet somebody in the back of the room. I was in the front sitting there just at the event. And so I went up to Michael Dell and was like, I have a question. And he said, nothing, and left. So I had to learn the game of entrepreneurship. And now, years later, I'm here hosting an event with Michael Dell, launching a computer line. And he's in the back of the room saying, I read your blog, Ramon. And I'm like, oh my God, Michael Dell reads my blog.
Wow. Hold on. That right there is a mic drop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Because back then they didn't want me.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm hot now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's exactly what happened.
That's nice,
exactly,
man.
yes.
So, all right, talk to me about the beginning stages of that journey, though, right? So when you got fired, I want to know the emotional, the mindset that you were going through. What was that like for you?
Well, ladies, can y'all just cover your ears a minute? It's like when I crashed my car a few weeks ago. I didn't care about me crashing my car. My wife was in the car.
Oh, okay.
And she's always telling me to slow down. So my only concern was like, yo, babe, I just want you to know I got fired. But she's one of the best women in the world, Proverbs 31 woman, just off the chain woman. And she's like, okay, I know, we'll figure it out. And I did figure it out. So bottom line is, after that, I just went to my clients that I had. I had the relationships, the who you know. I knew people over all these years. And I just had to turn that into saying, hey, I'm available now. I would love to host your event. I'd love to fly to your conference. I would love to freelance write for you. And what's the fee to charge for it? So I turned the relationships I had, because since I had a full-time job, I could do it for free. I now just turn them up into profitable enterprises.
Well, let's go into that relationship piece. How important was that for you?
Everything. So, for example, I had I forgot the number of companies, but the third or so company I started, smallbiztechnology.com, a technology blog for small business owners. I had a connection to Microsoft. I contacted my connection, and one of the interviews I had was Nigel Burton, head of Microsoft Small Business at the United Nations. Lo and behold, taking that relationship of that person who connected me to the head of Microsoft Small Business, lo and behold, years later, they're hiring Ramon Ray to host their event. I'm going on tour with Microsoft. I'm in their studios in Seattle, Washington, speaking to small businesses. So that's how the relationship works. You just never know where things lead you. Yeah.
Well, I have a question.
Please.
So you started this, you went through that experience, and maybe that was one of the most defining moments of your life, right? Mm-hmm. One of the most defining moments of your life. When did you realize, like, you were going to make it? Right, because there's this progression, and I think a lot of our viewer audience can probably identify where you're faking it, right?
Sure.
And then you get to a certain point where you're comfortable, and then you get to maybe that next point where you're like, okay, I'm making it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one point. That's a great question. I think it's when, and this is a true thing. So, but anecdotally, but it's true. So I don't know, Trevor. What am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say, because those are.
I don't.
What am I trying to say? I got to ask somebody what I'm trying to say. No, meaning it's a true thing that happened, but it's not directly answering the question. Follow me, Mark. I can see you're like, what the heck is he saying? But we're on live TV, so you're like trying to help me make sense. I get it. But here's what happened. So at the same time, Black Enterprise and an Inc. magazine said, Ramon, can you write for us? So I'm just an opportunistic person. I said, yes. So they said, we'll pay you $1 per word. And I was like, that sucks. $1 per word? I mean, who wants to write for that? Denmark. When they said, we want you to write a couple thousand words, I said, oh, Lord Almighty, you want me to write 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 words of what I already know about that I can write in my sleep? That's when I knew if I can connect what I can do to people who have a need, I will make money and will never starve.
Dang,
Amen.
so you said $1 a word?
$1 a word back in the day, yeah, $1 a word.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's good, man.
But I didn't realize it, though, when
with ChatGPT?
Come on now.
Bro.
Come on now.
I'd be like, woo, let's go. I'd be so rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we didn't have ChatGPT then. Back then, we only had chat. The GPT wasn't invented. We just had the chat. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
$1 a word. That's
right.
crazy.
That's right. But Trevor, see, you think in today's, that.
No,
was
I
that.
know.
Yeah, okay. That was like the horse and buggy, you kerosene and all that. Yes.
Okay, so you've built and sold some companies?
I have.
Talk to me about that experience.
Started 5 companies, Family Computer Consulting Services, the ugliest logos in the world. You go to the business card place where you go there and they have the printer. So I had Family Computer Consulting Services, who were one of the clients I was in front of. United Nations security guard, big guy, like 8 foot tall, looked like Goliath on steroids. I'm sitting there trying to fix his computer, and the modem fried in front of him. It was the most miserable experience. So that company dissolved, literally. That was Family Computer Consulting Services. Next company I started then was smallbiztechnology.com. I bought a domain name, put content up, and I sold that 20 years later to the date. Then I started Small Business Summit. That was an event business. Built that up, and another blogger bought it. Other company I started was smarthustle.com, and that I sold last year, 7 years after I started it. And today I run Zone of Genius and other things. I'm losing track, but yeah, I think it's 5.
Yeah, you got a lot, man. You got a lot going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I want to know about. Okay, so now you're the publisher of
Yes.
BWCdaily.com.
BW. I know it's Dallas, but
Hey.
BW.
We in the D-Dub, okay? It's the DF Dub.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
all right.
anyways. So tell me a little bit about what the vision is.
Absolutely.
For BWC.
Thank you.
I had to
Yeah.
make sure that's good
Yes,
for
sir.
you.
So bottom line,
Daily.com.
as many of the people here know, because we are in this amazing community. Yes?
Let's go.
We're in this amazing community founded by Glenn Lundy of motivation, education, inspiration with a high dose of positivity where everybody has a seat at the table. This is what we
go.
do. A slice of personal development to help you live your best life. Woo, come on now.
Let's go.
Come on now.
Let's go.
Come on now.
Let's go.
All right. And where everybody has a seat at the table to live your best life or start or grow your business. So the aspect of BWC Daily is we are a media company, yes, which houses this powerful community. What does that consist of? A podcast, when our team gets it working right, a podcast, an event business like we have here, and more. We live video, which we're testing out, and of course we have the platforms of Clubhouse, as long as it's around, and Twitter, as long as it's around. So that's what BWC Daily is, though. A media company producing content and helping to change people's lives. That's what we do, and I'm the publisher.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
awesome. That's awesome.
What's been the biggest, you know how we get those DMs, right?
I do.
From
Yes.
Clubhouse,
Yes.
right?
Oh my God, yes.
Tell me what's been the most impactful DM that you've received from somebody you've, been able to pour into.
Yeah, I think it's probably from Dora Maria saying the audio feed works. I think that was the most impactful. No, I was joking, messing with you. No, but I think the most. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself, Trevor. The
was
most
pretty good.
impactful was though. I think the most impactful, and I do receive these emails because as some of you know, you're on my email list. I say, "I'm a real human. Reply back to me," and people do. So I believe hearing an email from someone, legit, Trevor and Mark, saying, Ramon, I got this email. This helped me. Ramon, this segment today touched me. And or hearing from people, many of us here, we're a misfit group of jacked up people saying, I was going to commit suicide. I was going to do this. I felt this. And this community helped change my life. It's helped me. I'm leading it because I'm a recipient of it. It's helped my marriage.
Paying it forward.
Yes, paying it forward. So for me, knowing when I go out there and seeing somebody who's working somewhere, they don't want to be there, I'm like, yo, bro, what's up? Are you okay? How are you? And you feel them or not. And I say, yo, son, BWC Daily, man. BWC Daily.
Get
Check
you a
it out.
dose.
That's right. Get you a
Just get you a
dose.
little dose of that
Yeah.
good. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But I go to church in Newark, so I got to be careful. I can't say get you a dose because I go to church in Newark, New Jersey. So I probably say like get you. I got to say something else.
So the Celebrity CEO.
Yes.
Like your book.
Please.
Right. We got that out.
That's
What
right.
are some of the key takeaways that you can share with the listener and viewer
Absolutely.
audience on your personal brand, building your personal brand and your image?
Yeah, great question. Here's the challenge, I think, Mark, for many of us smaller business owners, which is my market and my forte. I think, one, we want more sales, which is great. I'm a firm believer in stop trying to get more sales. Before you get more sales, build more trust. But Mark, stop.
But wait, there's more.
Exactly. Instead, before you get more trust, get more attention. So I'm a firm believer, attention, because if I don't get your attention, game's over. Attention plus trust, that then will equal more sales. So there's many ways, many different ways to $1 in successful business. Thank you. But that's my game. How can I get more attention from the people who I can serve, build their trust, sales will come all day. People ask me, Ramon, how do you work with some of the biggest brands in the world? Because that. All the other jokers, Zoho, Dell, Microsoft, can you pay me $25,000, $50,000 for my event? No. First, the cheese the pizza's stupid. Second of all, you don't know how to run an event. 3, nobody's coming for. You're lying to them. Me, I'm just being nice. I'm just talking. How's your kid? How you doing? How's life? And then ka-ching, $25K, done.
Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that visibility.
Sure.
Right, that attention
Yes,
piece.
yes.
What are some of the ways that you help people to get that attention? Because there's so many different outlets now.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's always a new one popping up.
That's right.
I remember when Clubhouse, Glenn called me. Glenn called me and he's like, we're doing this thing, Clubhouse, tomorrow we're doing this thing. And I'm like,
That sounds familiar, yeah.
I'm like, and he's like, I need you for like 5 hours, like every day. And I'm like, what? And he's trying to explain, like I wasn't even on Clubhouse. Breakfast with Champions hadn't even started, so I was there day one, I remember. And he's like, you got to get this iPad because it won't work on Android and all this, that. And I'm like, what is he talking about? But it was like he just struck gold. Yes. It was like he found gold, and he was so excited. I was like, yes, I just said yes, right? Yeah. So anyways, but there's all these different new apps and social media platforms. How do you help people with that?
Sure. Here's what I'm a firm believer of, Trevor. I'm a firm believer that no matter how many apps there are, no matter how much attention people spans go elsewhere, that I will always be me, you will always be you, you will always be you, you will always be you. As my friend Seth Godin says, I'm a firm believer. Any location I am, anywhere I am, me and anybody else, if you raise your flag and say, this is what I'm about, this is who I am, there is somebody in your radius who will be attracted to you. And once you do that, if you do your job right and serve them, they then will tell others. And over time, you will have your own community. It happens all day long. That's what I preach and that's what I do. Stop going after the sale, get the attention, get the trust, then get sales.
Amen. Yep.
I broke that one. You see it?
You did break it.
I broke that
right.
mic. Well, Ramon broke the mic. I mean, come on
let's
now.
do it. Come on now.
All right, so I want to know what you're going to be talking about today.
Sure. Well,
give us a preview. Don't give us the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? But give us a little preview.
Since you asked, I'm probably not going to touch too much on Celebrity CEO. I was debating what do I speak about. I speak a lot to this audience, and I believe I'm going to speak, unless it changes, which it probably will do, human connections in the digital world. I was outside last night with some friends, Dre and Jeannie and Dora and Christina and myself. Yeah, I was with myself too. So we were at dinner, and it got me thinking, human connections in the digital world. We're all digital technology and all these things, but it's the human connections. When I think about someone like Stars Tina Wilson, yeah, it's a digital world. She's online. Oh my God, everybody, get out, move your body, go, you can do it. And I'm like, well, I'm already tired.
Sounds like a Peloton class.
Exactly, that's what it's like. But when I think about that, it's the human connection. When Stars Tina rolls, if you want to have somebody at your birthday party, you want to invite Stars Tina because she's bringing a bus of people. Everybody's bringing gifts. That's who you want in your corner. So when I think of that, I think of Stars Tina. Human connections in digital world. Start digital, but always go back to the human connections.
So I've got a question on that. Indeed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because it's all about the relationships. Yes. It's all about the network.
It's all about who you know.
It's all about who you know.
It's all about what?
It's all about who y'all know.
Who you know.
Yeah, you know, down here in the South, we say y'all. Who y'all know. Yep.
So y'all, right?
Y'all.
Got it.
So we've got people across the spectrum,
yes.
right? We've got people that are, high level influencers. We've got people that are starting out. We've got people that are just thinking about starting out. Sure. And there's a lot of people that are a little more reserved, absolutely. Probably a little more introverted, perhaps even. Yep. What would your advice be to them?
Sure. Can I tell you a joke about two black guys? Be careful what you say.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
There's a friend of mine, Dre Baldwin. Black guy, 2% more handsome than me. 2%, not much more. Dre Baldwin. His energy, his vibe, totally different than mine. But guess what? He reaches hundreds of thousands, millions of people. Why? Because to what you said, you can have two different quote-unquote influencers, which are vastly different. But it goes back to the principle I made. If you drop science, if you're sharing knowledge, if you are serving your audience, two different vibes can both be very successful. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He does have a different energy, right? Different energy, but he brings it. He's right over there.
That's right. He's right over there. That's right.
Absolutely.
Right. I think his shares are better than mine. Yeah, for sure.
Different strokes. Different strokes.
That's right. So that's an example. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So you talked about... making these relationships online.
Important, yes.
Right. I'm kind of bad at it, to be transparent with you, because there's so many people all over the place, different platforms are all over the place, and then I'll meet them in person, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Do you have any tips or advice for how to really strengthen those relationships to make sure they're real powerful once you meet them in person, things like that?
I think, I have something called a Dream 100 list. Okay. It comes from Chet Holmes, and they use it for sales. But in my phone, I have a Dream 100 list of people who I want to vibe with and who I want to contact throughout the year.
I love that.
That's what I do. So it's not sales.
I call it a hit list.
Hit list. The hit list is made more salesy, maybe.
Yeah.
Mine, people who I'm probably never going to exchange money with. but these are people that I want to keep the relationship with so we can do mutual business together. You and I, Trevor, may never give money to one another, but I have no doubt that over time, you and I may do something together that generates a massive amount of wealth.
Today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Boom. There we go.
Let's go.
There we go. I love it. That's right.
That kind of hit the side.
Yeah,
It didn't even
that
really
was
get
a-
it. So
that was
I'm
a
going to
fail.
hold on. Let's get
Give it a, yeah, there
You
you
got to
go.
bounce it out.
Wow. You should have a class on that. Hit the mic on a bronzeroundthingy.com and sell
That's
a class.
it.
Yeah, you can nurture it. Angeline can get KSA systems. We can like a
There you
texting
go.
thing, right?
Bang
Every
the
time
gong.
you hit it, automatically text.
Dang.
Trevor.
Dang, you see this guy?
Bang the gong.
He's
Bang-
making a
Bang
bit
the
of
gong.
Bangthegong.com.
bangthegong.com.
Yes.
Let's go.
But it just sound, let me just stop. It just, yeah, there we go.
Bangthegong.com.
Yes.
We're running out of mics, man.
Yes, and he can be a testimonial. I was on bangthegong.com and Trevor helped me. You should, and Trevor can, Drake can help us do an upsell, right? Click the little link. Did your mic break? Click here for $2.99. We'll send you another one. Come on, man.
A founder and a member.
Founder and a member. Bang the gong.
Bangthegong.com.
That's right.
So you got a couple books, right?
I do. 5.
5. Oh, jeez. All right, let's talk about that. How many of you in the audience are authors? Raise your hand if you're an author. All right, love it.
Woo! Yeah.
How many of you would like to be an author? Okay, cool. Love that. Let's talk about the process of becoming an author. And my question to you is, would you have used ChatGPT had it been around?
For my 6th book, I will use ChatGPT.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Yes.
And let me tell you why, Trevor. Let me tell you why. Some people, the world, I am not a very, people say I am, but I'm not a very deep, introspective person. You ask me how to use Twitter. Some people will, go off about it and all these. It's like you tweet, share, and be nice. That's it, and you grow a following. That's just me. I don't go very deep. So for me, going back to books, yes, what I say is important, especially Celebrity CEO. I have people who have that book and who have bookmarked it. I'm honored to say it. But I must say, sometimes it's that 10% difference that makes the difference. So for me, ChatGPT, for the next book, if I write, let's say it's on happiness, on motivation, much of what I say is not new, as Damon John had said. But if I can add a few gems to it, which ChatGPT can never do, then I can marry the two. ChatGPT can fill 80% of the book of good information, good knowledge, and I can ask the right questions. The other 10% can be the Ramon gem that only I can do.
There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so talk to me about back in the day before the ChatGPT.
Like a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a year ago.
Yeah, like 2022.
Yes.
So what is that process like for you to become an author, to publish a book, to get it out there, for someone like myself who doesn't have one?
Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3 things. One, unfortunately, many authors focus on writing the book. They get gazing inside. Oh, it has to be this way, this way, this way. That's important. But for me, again, for my reasons, because I'm about attention and trust, I want the book to be a bestseller. I want to sell zillions of copies. So yes, what's inside the book is important, but I find that process is a bit easier. So chapters, what's the book about? What are your stories? What do you want to impact? Who do you want to reach? But the game of a successful book, as far as selling it, that may start a year ahead of time.
Marketing?
That's right, brother.
Yeah.
Build your list, build your tribes, get people to buy 50 copies, 100 copies, 200 copies, things of that nature.
Before
That's
it's
the hard
even
part.
written, before it's
Come
even
on
out.
now. Come on now.
Hey, but that'll also give you an incentive,
Yes.
right, to get it done.
That's right.
Because you got a whole bunch of
That's right.
pre-sold, right? And you're like, you don't want to let them
You
down.
don't want to. That's right.
Or refund their money or
once you
whatever.
see those sales, that's an incentive. You're right. You'll get the book done.
It'll trigger.
Yeah. Because you can use ChatGPT and do it while you're banging the gong.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What would you say one of the things a mistake that you made in that process? Anything that you would have done differently?
Oh, for sure. I think we learn from many of the people out here who I've learned from. But I think the aspect of, as far as books are concerned, not building my funnel, not building my pipeline fast enough. Again, because you're learning. So my next book, I will definitely be reversing engineering the game a lot more.
What is the next book?
To tell you the truth, I don't know yet. But I know I have to write another book because people are asking me to. So it'd probably be something about motivation, happiness, positivity, or networking. I was at the airport. I just turned around and smiled at a guy, and he thought I was weird, which I am. But I smiled at him. Lo and behold, this guy, Trevor, random, and I do this everywhere I go. Everywhere. You know how many people I've met in airplanes, even in bathrooms, you stand by the... Let me just stop. But point being is that's a true thing. But I turned around and said, hey, my name is Ramon. How are you? What brings you to Dallas? Lo and behold, I'm going to leave out the company name. His company was sold to a $1 billion company that all of us know, that's, on the street corners, a pharmacy type company, $1 billion company. Do you know what that's like, Trevor? That means I'm connected to a guy who has a startup that was sold to $1 billion companies. Second thing, I started telling him about Breakfast with Champions and video. He used to work for 12 years at a major, I'll call this a media company, just because I said hi and smiled and connected. That's it. And I do that everywhere I go. And today, actually, part of my talk, a lady DM'd me on LinkedIn and said, Ramon, you may not remember me. She said, you gave me your card. We chatted on the plane. And I want you to know, because of what you said, I'm now building my speaking business. Random, Trevor. You can't beat that.
Let's go. What did I tell you guys? It is like the most positive, just like it's contagious. His energy rubs off on you, right? So I wish there were more people like you, more light in the world, just shining. Because there's just so much negativity out there. You see on social media and just everything, and politics and la, right? Yes. We need more people like you. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Can you tell us what's the best way for the audience to connect with you? Where would you like them to do that?
Yeah. If you go to RamonRay.com, not Ramoncito, not a Enye, not Raymond, not Aurelio, none of that. Just RamonRay.com. RamonRay.com. That's the best way to reach me. I respond to all my emails, guaranteed.
Love it, love it.
Thanks for listening to the Who You Know Show podcast. My name is Trevor Houston, and if you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing wherever you listen and leave us a positive review to help us keep the mics on in the studio. Until next week, that's the show. It's all about who you know.